what is your purpose? How do you find out what it is your life mission is supposed to be? I mean, do you really think that you're just born here for no reason at all? Like you're just born here to be a slave? I had to do some answer, find some questions on that one because I am noticing some people saying the same thing that I said years and years and years ago, and it's like to your parents, why would you even have me? If you treat me like shit like this, why would you even have kids? If you're complaining about having kids, why would you even have kids? Like, there were so many times I used that statement, why would you, and put it out there. And I'm noticing a lot of people saying the same thing, that, why are you even here? And you think that, um, somebody else made you be here. Somebody else was in control of your existence. And my whole world changed around when I found this other possibility. Um, there was this girl years and years and years ago. This was the first phenomenon about people dying and then coming back to life. And we've seen that all over the place. Okay, Jesus died and came back to life. But he wasn't, like, we're starting to see that this is quite common, that people are pronounced dead, 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 and then all of a sudden come back to life. And this one girl, this goes back years and years and years ago, at least 30, 40 years ago, and she was the longest recorded person that had died, and she wrote a book about it. And religion has been against this, and you know as soon as something new comes up, we reject it. We think it's evil, but it's just new information. It's just something you need to understand. What the hell is going on? What causes this? Like, just sort of look at it and try and understand it. Don't be scared of it. Anyways, she wrote this book that says, like, she did go through this tunnel. A lot of people that die seem to see this tunnel. There was a lot of similarities in what everybody else is seeing. And a lot of, the medical world is that, yeah, your brain is going to play games. You're going to see different things when you're subconscious, and yeah, but they all are experiencing the same thing, and they all seem to have a story to tell. This particular girl, she was the longest recorded ever who died, and she wrote a really small book. Don't know the name of it, but she said that when she was like on this other side, there is a bunch of souls over there, and they choose. Your soul chooses to have a life experience. So your soul comes down and chooses, no, I want to be born in this family with that kind of mother and that kind of father, because the lesson that I want to learn on this planet, what I choose to experience and grow from, needs to be experienced by these types of parents. And it was like, holy shit. It was like, oh, I asked for this? Oh, I'm in control of this? And then you put yourself in a power position, because while you think somebody else, just gave birth to you and you had no say in it, while somebody else is controlling our governments, while somebody else is controlling all aspects of your life, it's like you think you have no control whatsoever. And then, that's when depression sets in, and it's like, I have no control over nothing, like I'm just a cog in this wheel, and everybody else is in charge, and everybody else has more control of me. But if you look at it from, oh, I'm the one in charge, man, the world can open up to you, because you are in a power place. You are the one that came here. You are the one that wanted those parents to be the type of parents they are. Now, why would you want that? What would you possibly want to learn from that? Now, I can't tell you what your lesson is, but you can figure that out for yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that I needed to learn? What would make me stronger through this experience? What would make me weaker through this experience that I'm having? So I was very young when I ended up finding this out. So my perspective of how I experienced all aspects of my life was, okay, what would make me stronger about this? What would make me weaker? It was always about my personal growth. And that seems to be the pattern that was in my life all the time. Like, very challenging childhood, and my mother was right into horoscopes, and whether you believe in horoscopes or not, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of what was constantly crossing my path, what messages was constantly influencing the direction of my life. And it was constantly, Judy, you're going through a learning phase and you will come out of it, and you'll be bigger and stronger, and you won't fall into who you're meant to be until your later years in life. So it's like, oh, great. Gotta wait a lifetime until I fall into myself. Then, even for some odd reason, the Beatles came out, and there was a song that tended to speak directly at me called Hey Jude. My name is Judy, and what's the theme of that song? Take a sad song and make it better. So that had an influence over my life. It made a suggestion of, okay, this is a learning phase. What am I supposed to do? Things in your reality make suggestions that the brain has to play with and do something with it. And those were the messages coming into my life, and they help guiding me see a different picture. And it's a picture that puts you in more power. So to find out the purpose of your life, first of all, you got to understand there's no mistake why you're even watching this video, because obviously you wanted to hear this. You are the creator of what you experience. I'm not making this video, for me. It's manifested you. You wanted to hear something, and you're only using me as a tool to do what you wanted to hear in the first place. It's a wild, wild friggin' concept, but yeah, I'm pushed by what other people manifest, and I push everybody else to what I want to manifest. I want to, like the song The Beatles, Hey Jude, look at it from a power place. These guys, I was the creator of that song. I needed that song to be heard. So it was manifested through the Beatles to write that song because my energy, my life force needed to hear those words. And because it was global, I wasn't the only one. Those songs were manifested by other people that needed to hear those words. So even John Lennon's song Imagine is one of the most popular songs on the planet. And when you think this guy, John Lennon, created that song because it came from him, no, it came from everybody on the planet that needed to hear those words that manifested through John Lennon. He felt the vibes of everybody else wanting it, so the words ended up coming out through him. And then we worship that guy and not worship ourselves and look at ourselves and say, hey, we were the ones that wanted to hear it. So getting back on track, you wanted to hear this video. So this is what you needed to hear, is to find your purpose. First of all, you have to look at all of your complaints. Why the hell do you think you're making a lot of complaints about? Why do you have a focus on anything that you would be complaining about? You're in a position of power. So write down a huge, huge list. It's really, really important. Complaints are something that we've been trained to ignore. They're bad, they're evil, they're everything wrong. No, that's your source of power. So write yourself down one massive long list of complaints. I mean, make that list as friggin' long as you possibly can. And then once you make that list out, then on the other side, write down what the solution is. If this is wrong, what is right? If this is wrong, what is right? What would you like to see different? Because in order for you to see something that's wrong, means you know an awful lot about what's right. Now, if your list is very, very small, then your mission, should you choose to accept it or not, is to fall into the solution. You have, because you know what's right, you have the power, you have everything it takes to create that solution. Otherwise, you'd never recognize it. There's a billion and billion different types of complaints out in the world, but you are only very, very specific to the ones that you wrote down. There's a reason, because you see the solution. And you need to tie yourself in with other people that are connected with you. You need to earn your profits. You need to feed your families through the solution that you see of the problems you see in the world. Now, if your list is really, really massive, then chances are you're more of a global. You will affect people more on a global basis. So don't try and look at, I'm supposed to do something really, really small. You're supposed to do something really, really big. If your list is big, you're about to do something big. If your list is small, then you're probably more locally affected. But you are the change, and that's where we all need to work on. And don't necessarily look at it for profit. We value ourselves by the money that we have in our bank accounts, and that is like so total garbage. You are valued by the amount of money you can flow through you. So, for example, which this channel does need some financial support if it's to continue. My internet bill has now gone up. I was on a very, very cheap plan to start with, and now the bill is getting really high, and I don't know whether I can afford it or not. So we need to donate. So if anybody finds any value to this channel, even if it was, $1, it needs to be supportive. If you want support for you, you need to set the example of supporting somebody else. So when you want to fall into your solutions, if you want somebody supporting you along your path towards your solution, then the value of how well you are doing is by how much you can attract and flow through you. It's not about how much you can get for self, but how much you can build another person up. Put out what it is you want to receive back. That's what I do. I send out, start off free. Send out your information, send out your practice, do what you do because you love it and you know it's important, and then wait for it to bounce back at you, which is where I'm at. If this is valuable, if I happen to be improving my communication skills and offering information that ends up helping you, then you should be motivated to help me back. If not, I need to keep practicing. We're just not ready yet, but it doesn't mean I give up. It just means I constantly have to grow from the experience, take my responsibility that everything that I'm experiencing is coming from self. I don't have to blame the world. The world's not ready. I'm the one that's not ready, and it's my actions, my communication skills, my knowledge that needs to improve. Hope it helps. Peace out.